steps and you must pay. Darksydephil, he's begging tonight. He needs your cash, it's just not right. He begs for money night and day, for all of the games he wants to play. He must hit the goal or he don't win. He needs the cash to pay for gin. Darksydephil is begging today. He needs your tips and you must pay. Darksydephil, he's begging tonight. He needs your cash, just not right.
Oh, the chat's all the rage about Steve versus Phil.
What happened with that?
Now, let me just clarify.
Go ahead. You explain.
Here's what happened.
Tell him what happened.
We made you, Steve. Steve, how could you betray us like this, Steve? We invite Steven into the show. We get him this big audience.
Mm-hmm.
We set up all these opportunities for Steve.
Do everything.
He's supposed to do this softball interview where he sucks off Phil, and it was supposed to be about Project 7.
Mm-hmm.
I told Steve, you're going to interview Phil about Project 7. You're going to watch the clips. You're going to play like DSP doing Cup of Noodles.
Only positive commentary.
The moments that defined a generation. A generation of content online. Darksydephil, the legend.
FF13 review.
And what happened? I learned today the convoluted snake scheme that Steve executed. He was subverted by the detractors. Duty got to him. Alt apparently got to him.
Yikes.
And they poisoned Steve against King Phil.
No.
They poisoned Steve and they removed the broomstick from his hand.
Whoa.
And gave him a shovel to bury Phil in a fucking shallow grave. I couldn't believe it. It's the year of the snake. Steven just went into business for himself.
It's nuts.
He snaked everybody. And then he called out Phil's shameless grifting, his scams, and his lies.
I'm not surprised, honestly. I had a feeling about Steve.
I can't believe it, Steve. I can't believe it. Folks, how could this have happened?
Fucking crazy.
We were deceived by Steve. Oh, buddy. I didn't know I was supposed to be a good interview. And we were I thought we gave Phil a great chance. We did. And then these detractors came in and subverted the whole thing. And
fuck them.
I had no idea.
Damn them to hell.
Damn you,
damn
Duty.
them to fucking hell.
Damn you to hell. No. But what's his name? Thank God, Darksydephil was so badass last night.
Real? Okay, tell us.
He stood tall.
Did he?
He stood tall and conquered all because he stayed focused on providing positive content for his fans, meaningful content for his fans, and he defended his legacy. And he didn't cave in to Steve's insane demands to, provide proof of his claims or clear his name.
Based.
That was fucking moronic lunacy on Steve's part to
Why would
suggest
you?
such fucking things. Well, because the king's already doesn't matter if the king is guilty. He's the king. He can pardon himself.
Yeah.
You know, fucking Trump's president now.
I am no
These
longer
fucking
guilty.
morons. Exactly.
The
It doesn't
end.
matter. It doesn't matter if Phil scammed his fans. You know why?
Phil should.
Because Phil scamming his fans is fucking based. And red-pilled to begin with. It's just like, Steve, you don't have to sell me on Phil.
Yeah.
I'm already hypnotized, Steve.
Can you believe
I
it?
already view him as
DSP
a god.
scammed his fans. That's why we're cool with
That's
him.
why we support Phil, is because he's a con artist like us.
You know?
You know what I mean? He's a dirty piece of shit. He's
Imagine not scamming your fans?
Oh man, I don't
gay?
know. Ultimately, what ended up happening, Steve enlisted a retard detractor who fucked it all up.
No.
He fumbled the football on the 1 yard line. I'm not even being fucking like funny here. This guy
Really?
Steve brought in.
Really?
Holy
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
cringe, bro.
Yes.
Let me tell you about the honor and dignity of being a police officer.
What? Wait, a cop?
This guy's not a cop. So, like, Steve gets this guy who claims to be a cop who joins. The guy's entire life is Phil. And it's like this guy was way too close to the situation to properly press Phil or like interrogate Phil, because the guy, like, honestly, it was like he was like in the presence of Jesus Christ or like Buddha. Or like Muhammad.
What, you mean
it
the
was like
fucking
he was in the
detractor?
presence. Yes, the detractor was like he was in the presence of a religious figure, and he was just so fucking juiced to be there and get to have an opportunity to touch the hem of Phil's garment. You know, the guy really thought he was like a part of history or something. Like this would be recorded for the generations to come. His interrogation of fucking Phil.
He crashed out, they said?
He crashed out, bro. He completely derailed Steve's interrogation, fucked the football, and made anybody normal watching go, huh, these detractors are kind of unhinged. You know what I mean? And it's like, it got to the point, right, where it's like with the bank leaks, and it's like, what, you really think that somebody would sit there all day and fake these transactions, thousands of transactions, as they're pulling up a spreadsheet where they've logged thousands of transactions of Phil's?
Who?
And it's like,
the cop?
Yeah, no, the cop and Steve. And it's like, you know what? I'm starting to believe that these Spurgs might have faked the transaction. Because they're putting a lot of effort into all of this shit. Way more effort than is fucking ever needed to crucify Darksydephil. You know what I mean? They got the pie chart up and everything.
What was the, I was actually really busy yesterday. What was the, like, what transactions, like, what he buys with his debit card and shit?
Yes, man. They have every transaction. And then, but the thing was, what they were arguing kind of, to me, made it less likely they were real.
Really?
Because the argument was, it's like, okay, so you said on this date you got a haircut. And here we have in the bank leaks a transaction for the haircut for $14.
There's no way that happened.
Well, no, they had it like 8 different times, 8 different haircuts. They even had Phil's wife in a photo at the haircut place. Okay? But my thinking is, I'm like, but wait a minute. Doesn't this, like, because they have him saying this on stream, couldn't they have put the fake transaction in the spreadsheet to then give it credibility?
Yeah.
So to me, it actually kind of gave it less credibility. That being said, I mean, they obviously fucking had, like, endless fucking proof that it was all real. But, you know, like,
of course it was real.
But some of the arguments are kind of like, I felt kind of self-defeating. Yeah. And at a lot of points, like, here's the ultimate reality of it, right? And this is what I told Phil. And I said to him, Phil, the sun will rise tomorrow. You will still hit the goal. You're still going to make money. You're still Darksydephil. It doesn't matter. Darksydephil could be caught on tape slaughtering puppies, and he would still get people to donate. There's nothing that Phil could possibly do or be exposed as doing that would stop him from making money from retards online, because he's the best at it. So no matter how much Steve copes, no matter how much Steve, I have evidence, this guy is a bastard. It doesn't matter what evidence you have, Steve. It doesn't matter. that you're seeking the truth, because with Darksydephil, the lies will always prevail, my friend. The power of Phil's lies and darkness will always outshine your light of truth, Steve. So you might think that you have all these detractors lining up behind you now and that you're going to win. But, Steve, I have bad news for you. Darksydephil outlasts them all.
It's scary,
and now
actually.
you're facing the curse of King Phil because you snaked the house and allowed yourself to be subverted by the detractors, Steve. We didn't set Phil up. It was a cream puff interview. And this bastard went rogue, went into business for himself. Shame on you, Steve. We'll see you on the show next Tuesday. Okay, everybody. Now that the insane fucking gaslighting cope session is over.
I couldn't honestly hold my laughter, dude. Like, this is ridiculous.
Fuck. Oh, my God.
Did it work? Did it work? Is it good?
We got him.
I love this show.
We got him.
We got
him. Let's go. Let's get some subs. Yeah, Steve coming back on Tuesday. Poor Phil, man. I don't know. Phil won in the end.
Hold on.
I
got this.
What's going on?
We're back.
Phil! Phil!
Oh my God, I've been snaked. The
That's
camera's...
the year of the snake, Phil. How are you enjoying the year of the snake, bro? I should have got my Randy Orton Viper shirt on. I don't have one, though. I should have ordered it express with the big fucking snake on it, Phil.
I used to have the original Randy Orton shirt where he did the pose, the first pose ever, that old school pose, and it was dope.
Yeah.
But the thing fell apart because it's just like a white outline logo, and it would crack.
Yeah.
You know, it falls apart. But that was a dope shirt from way back in the day. So anyway, what's up, everyone?
It's Steve with a steel chair. Fuck on. Darksydephil has been taken out by Steve. What a dastardly bastard.
Coast to coast, smashed his face in. So what's up, everyone? What's up? Welcome to the show. Sorry for the technical difficulties there at the beginning. Today is February 18th, 2025. I'm DSP. That's PPP. This is Smart Guys, our wrestling commentary show, and I hope that you guys are having a good night as we are on the road to Elimination Chamber. These last few weeks have been a lot of kind of filler build-up for the Chamber, and this week with Monday Night Raw, it was absolutely no exception whatsoever. It was a lot of qualifying matches, a lot of filler, and a lot of stuff. People are saying the music is still playing, but it is not. It is absolutely not. What are you guys talking about?
They're messing with you, Phil. They're messing with you.
Oh, yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, so PPP, how you doing, man? How was your week? How's everything going?
Oh, man, it was good. I'm worried about you, though. Apparently, you're on self-deletion watch. Every day's been a struggle.
Oh,
you lost your smile.
definitely.
You've been miserable. Are you making it, King?
Oh, I can barely get out of bed in the morning. Let me tell you, I got to have both Kat and Jasper pushing me out of bed to get functional.
They're motivating you every day. Get up, King. Get up. You can win. You can get him, Rock. Get up. You're a contender. We got to get you in there for the rematch against Clubber Lang.
Oh,
it wasn't fair, Phil.
Listen,
it wasn't fair.
The truth is, I just have never faced any criticism at all. So now that I finally got some criticism, you know, I just can't take it. I just, I fall like a house of cards. What can I say?
Listen, for the record, Phil handled it. Phil handled that interview because the thing is, they wouldn't let Phil talk. So all you're doing is like preaching. It's like a solo video. Oh, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. It's like, well, are we gonna catch Phil in a gotcha or not? You have to let him talk to get him, and they couldn't do it because they knew that Phil's righteousness would shine through. But Phil stayed positive. He stayed professional throughout. He didn't rage quit the call like people thought. You know, the heat was cranked up all the way. It was the ultimate grill Phil, the inferno in hell. And yet Phil stood strong. The segment was only supposed to be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
He did nearly double that. They pulled out all the tricks, all the stops. They had surprise detractor appearances, NDAs, polygraph tests, all the gimmicks, all the tricks, and yet none of it could put an end to Darksydephil's community, the positivity, the streak, the goal. Phil doubled the goal upon his return, and Steve showed his true colors as nothing but a yellow-bellied snake in the long grass. We tested Steve's loyalty, saw if he was going to be a team player, and Steve went into business for himself, not once, but Steve, I'm aware now tonight, you went into business for yourself again and leaked conversations to detractors. Very disappointing. Steve, you're fired, Steve. Steve is fired from the Kino Casino staff. We're not going to see the stench of Snake Steve ever again on the Kino Casino or on the Darksydephil airwaves. Steve has been eliminated.
Wow.
Steve has been whacked because he's a deceitful, lying grifter.
Wow.
Shame on you, Steve. You tried to grill Phil about his money, yet you took money yourself, Steve. You took money to spread lies about Darksydephil and his family, his supporters, his business.
Wow.
Fucking shame on you trying to smash this man's rice bowl. He's a fucking internet legend who's given us over 15 years of memories and moments. What have you done, Steve? Where the fuck are your accolades? Where are your big moments? Where are they, Steve? I'm waiting. Your biggest moment is Phil. Phil made you. You're nothing without Phil. You're nothing without me. You're a low down, dirty bum, Steve. And you ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself associating with the scum of the earth. I saw you on that Detractor podcast. What's wrong with you, man? They will eat you alive and they will spit you out. You think that they're going to have loyalty to you, brother Steve? No, they won't. No, they won't. Once they're done milking you for everything that you're worth, they'll turn on you. They'll go after you and your business and your family, just like they've done to Phil, Steve. And in the end, you'll be nothing. You'll be nothing but the shit on Darksydephil's shoes, Steve. So that's it, buddy. The detractors have no loyalty. It's not positive like Phil's community. It's all negativity, toxicity, trolling, and the like. That's not what this program is about. So let's get some subs. Let's get some donations. Let's go.
Real talk, all right? All ridiculous extrapolation aside.
What?
That interview, all right? Like, here's the thing. If you're gonna get someone in an interview and you're gonna try to like get them with gotcha questions or back them into a corner, the idea is that you present something that you think is like indisputable, and then you let the person respond in a way that backs them into the corner. And basically what you need to do, you need them to either self-incriminate or make themselves look bad. But the problem with the interview was he literally wouldn't even let me respond. Like, I would try to respond to something and he'd start like getting angry and yelling and then moving on to the next thing. It's like, but we didn't even get to that answer yet.
That was the thing too, Phil. He would crank down your volume while you tried to answer and raise up his voice. It was the oldest trick in the book, the OBS audio manipulation. He was screaming over you. He was angry. He was agitated. He was seething. Whereas you were calm. You were cool. You were collected. You were the eye in the center of the storm. The thing is, DSP is the storm. That's what Steve doesn't understand.
It sure seems like that way, and I don't understand why. I really don't.
You are the vortex, Phil.
Oh my God.
You are the storm. And so Steve may think, oh, he got one up on you. Oh, da, 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 da. But in the end, everybody falls to the DSP curse. There's nobody but anybody that outlasts the king of a live stream, Darksydephil. Many have tried, many have come at the king, and they've missed. And the king took their head. Destiny was one of the most recent examples. Destiny tried to make fun of Phil for saying it was a buyer's market for cars. And what happened to Destiny? It may not happen the next day, or the next week, or the next month, or even the next year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years. But eventually, all that come at the king are decimated. The king takes their head, leaves them humble and dead. All hail. It's true, though.
It's weird.
True.
It's weird because
the longevity.
I don't lift a finger. I don't. I'm like, listen, I easily could clap back at these people, come out of the woodwork over the years to try to drop my name to get some kind of notoriety with the internet crowd, right? I could go back at them. But I'm like, number one, I don't have a lot of clout. And number two, I don't like making that kind of content, quite frankly. I don't.
No.
I don't like making drama
Phil,
content.
When you say you don't have a lot of clout, that might be true in the internet sense. But in the universe, God smiles upon Darksydephil.
I guess so.
Whoever it is that pulls the strings of the universe, whether it be Jesus Christ, God, Allah, the Buddha, the Dalai Lama, whoever it is.
I swear to you, I don't have like
fates up in Greek mythology, they smile upon you.
I have to promise everyone, I have to promise the internet someone, I actually do not have the death note over here, okay? I don't have that shit. I don't know what's going on, that this stuff happens every time, but undoubtedly the people who fucking come at me somehow self-destroy themselves over a course of several years after they come after me, and I don't have anything to do with it.
The divine right of kings. You were born to rule the internet kingdom. You have the mandate of heaven. And that's the thing.
Or hell. It could be hell. I don't know.
You have the mandate of heaven, sire. And all those who come before you, one way or the other, are smited by God. Darksydephil has God on his side. And there's no way that Steve, a mere follower of science and logic, can battle with the mystical powers of the almighty Darksydephil.
That might be it, because I've made some of the most illogical choices that any human's ever made, yet I'm still here, but people who follow logic seem to get felted left and right.
Exactly. There's no stopping it. There's no rhyme. There's no reason to it. There's no order. It's just pure chaos. It's the vortex, snortex, if you will. And all who step into it are destroyed, except for the king, who somehow rises above in the whirlwind.
Oh, my God.
Storm, when the mighty waves rise, when the tsunamis come and they wash away all of the Johnny-come-latelys, all of the flash in the pans, never was, never will be anything. The legacy of Darksydephil is elevated above all.
I love this show, man.
All away. They built their foundation on the sinking sand. You've heard the parable. The wise man who built his house upon the rock. And that's Phil. He built his house upon the rock of positivity, of building a community, upon consistency and work ethic. He built his business on the rock. But Snake Steve, built his business upon the shifting sands. The detractors built their business upon the shifting sands. And when the rain and the storms and the floods come in, the sand is washed away. You see, living on the sand is easy. You're on the beach. Ooh, I'm in the sun and the sand and the surf, and it's so nice. It's fair weather. But you get washed away in times of turmoil and distress. Whereas Phil stands tall against the winds and the rain and the floods and the turmoil. and he
Wow.
remains undefeated,
Oh,
undisputed, the king of the internet there.
there's something going on. All this gaslighting is really strong, man. It's just
Hey,
kicking over my room over
gaslighting,
here.
It's all true.
Oh,
It's true.
I gotta go open the
Sire.
window. Let it out.
Your Majesty, this is no
Oh.
crime of worm tongue display. Your Highness, Your Majesty.
Hold on,
You
let me take care of
stand
it. Ah!
unparalleled
Ah!
amongst the internet dynasties. None can rival the House Burnell, sire.
Oh, my
None
goodness.
can rival it. There are many who have tried. They have all failed. The sands of time have defeated them. But you, the Colossus, stand tall, sire. A statue in the desert wilderness. Behold his name, Ozymandias, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. It is Philip Paul Burnell indeed, and his majestic dynasty. Long may he reign. Down with Snake Steve and his schemes.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?